Hi, today I will present you the Mtc Solution by Juan Felipe Huertas. During this presentation, I will explain. First, an introduction of the context of the problem. The summary of the solution I found was the best. Areas of improvement MTC has to check in order for the solution to work. Some resources needed for improvement, the risk to the proposal and contingencies to mitigate the risk. Finally, but not least, the conclusion of the problem. Okay, as an introduction to the problem, MTC is a company that sells medical devices to hospital and other partners. There is going to be a new law that's going to implement a new tax that's going to affect 2.3% on the revenue of MTC. This is also going to impact on a term 10% on profit lost to the company. So in this case, we're going to try to figure out what to do in order to mitigate this. Currently, the process goes like this. MTC moves their products to the sterilization process. After this, they move the products back to MTC. Then after, MTC sends the products to their distributors or warehouses, which leads to the hospital at last, their final customers. The solution I think is the best consists of redirecting the product after the sterilization process to MTC warehouses. They will then send them to the distributors that will move them to the hospitals. Thanks to the different aspects learned on the supply chain management strategy course, we could analyze the case in different aspects that led us to the solution I found before. First, I concluded that the current process was having too many touch points that generated no value to the product. Instead, it was adding time to the process, making the company lose money on this. So, the first thing to work on is to reduce touch points by changing how the process works. In order to make this, we will have to analyze new relationships from distributors, transportation, and warehouses of the product, since we are going to try to move the products to our warehouses and then to the distributors after the sterilization process. This means we will not have a 2 days delay due to the sterilization process. Besides this, we're going to try to reduce the number of salespersons because they are actually a huge cost to the company. This doesn't mean we will remove them completely, but analyze how many we really need. The areas that will need improvement will be basically the ones related to the solution before. First, we have to manage the relationship between distributors, the sterilization process company, and warehousing. This is because we have to find the best partners to work with since our process is going to change a little bit. We have to also take into account that we want to build strong relationship with them since we want to work with them in the future for a very long time. Based on this, we have to first find an off-site sterilization company that's going to send our products to the warehouses after the sterilization process. From our warehousing, we have to check that the process of sterilization was done correctly. After that, we must ensure that our warehousing planning is done correctly, because they are going to send finally the products to the hospitals. The resources needed for improvement will be basically human resources. First, there is going to be an sterilization attendant who's going to be in charge of all the shippings from the sterilization company to the warehouses. Also, he's going to try to check the process is going well and it's being well done. Then the distributor attendant, who's going to be the one who's going to be receiving the products from the warehouse, he's going to check everything is alright, the quantities and all that. Also, there's going to be a manager of products attendant in the warehouses. They have to check the products are arriving on time from the sterilization company and then leaving on time to the distribution company. Finally, there's going to be a transportation attendant who's going to be in charge of all the transportation of the products from the MTC warehouse to sterilizations or distribution. In terms of risks proposal and contingencies to mitigate the risk, we have three main issues. First, the salesperson reduction impact. This means that if we reduce the salesperson too much, we won't have the same incomes from our products, since hospitals are not going to buy too much. This means that we will try to reduce the prices for hospitals in order for them to be more accessible. Then we have missing products. This we have to take in mind that we have to make some improvements in the distribution process, in the transportation process, and the warehousing. We don't want to have any missing products from transportation, from the sterilization process, or the distribution, or the warehousing. So we have to take special charge in this. Finally, we have the out of stock or plenty of stock issue. Maybe in sometimes we're gonna have a lot of stock in our warehouse or not too much stock in our warehouse, so we have to keep reformulating our planning on the product we have to send or receive. So this is not going to be a big issue for the company. To conclude, we can say that MTC can adapt to the new tax if there's no resolution and it's finally implemented by following the steps mentioned previously. First, they can increase profits by reducing costs. The costs were made mainly by the amount of touch points the company has in the distribution process, and also from the salespersons. The new model of sterilization and distribution will help MTC to reduce their costs generally. They will need to build new strong relationships with a sterilization company, a distribution company, and finding a good warehouse that will adapt to the needs. Finally, if they keep implementing this and controlling the process itself, they can produce a sustainable growing in the profits, in the process, and many other things that will make MTC to be recognized as a very big and trustful company.